Yo, Still Bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, I just left El Pueblito over here on the south side, man. Yo, it's dope to be able to come over here and be around the Spanish-speaking people, and you get to practice your Spanish, bro. Like, I love it. I'm gonna learn this language. I'm telling you, I'm gonna learn that shit. On my mama, I'm gonna learn that shit. Peep game, man. We got to get into this Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis fight, fam. Like I've said before, I'm not excited about this fight. I'm just not. On fight night, I'm gonna be tuning in because one of the homies is ordering the shit, so I'll watch it. I'll be damned if I pay for this motherfucker though. That shit is not gonna happen. I buckled and paid for David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. I'm not buckling on this one because I just, with these two motherfuckers, it's pointless because it's going nowhere. But it will be a good fight. It's a damn sure a big fight. It's damn sure a big fight. But we here, so man, let's get into it, man. We 3 days out. They both arrived in Vegas, man. Ryan, I think, is oozing with a little bit more confidence. He's oozing with a little bit more confidence, man. I'm not saying that's shaking Tank, but it definitely is like, yo, this dude, he's not nervous. He's not, this is his first big fight. So he's not nervous. He doesn't seem to be. He ain't stuttering and stammering over his words. It's like the spotlight ain't too big for him. We'll know for sure Friday when they face off for the weigh-ins, for the final weigh-in or whatever, man. I'm not picking up nervousness from this dude. It's putting me in the headspace of how Teofimo was when he fought Lomachenko. It's like, I'm not nervous, dog. Like, you think I'm bullshitting? I'm coming to crash your ass. That's the energy that I'm getting. And for him to even bet his purse like that, at least saying that I'm willing to put up all of my purse to make this fight. Well, I'm just saying, fam, like, I'm not, so, and I guarantee, Joe Goosen, Joe Goosen isn't training this dude in a the way that he's used to being trained. I'm sure there's definitely going to be an upgrade in skill set that Ryan has. And even Tank said, I'm not sleeping on Ryan. He said that in the All Access, man. But as far as the fight goes, the catch weight and the rehydration clause, I feel, is going to play a role in this fight. But let's say that it doesn't. Ryan comes into the weigh-in. He comes to the fight feeling great at 146 pounds. It's a 50-50 fight. Because, with Tank, I think with Ryan, one thing I've noticed from Ryan, what he used to do, he would always start his combinations, when he would fight a southpaw, he would always start his combinations to his right side. That's a big mistake. You always want to create that angle on a southpaw. Because the same advantages you have as a southpaw, conventional fighters have as conventional fighters. You can create that same angle spinning somebody to their lead hand. So you're not walking into their into their weapon. You dig what I'm saying? The difference is with southpaws, we just don't see as many southpaws as we do conventional fighters. Even in basketball, you don't see motherfuckers. It's rare to see somebody handle the rock, break you down with the left hand and pull up with the left hand. Like, it's not a normality as much as it is seeing a righty. I've always been jealous of left-handed ball players, but he would always start his combination going to the right. He would spin, circle to an opponent, a southpaw's backhand. He would always do that. And his chin is really high in the air. He doesn't have the best feet, but goddamn, his power is undeniable. It's very much so undeniable, man. I just think with I've been seeing him clean that up a little bit more, though. I've been seeing him clean that up, man. When he fought Javier Fortuna, I didn't see that. I saw patience behind the jab. I saw him throwing combinations at a safe range to where Javier Fortuna couldn't get in. The range and the distance that he was at, he was able to get enough leverage and snap on the shot and force you. You're not gonna throw combinations from that range or whatever the case may be. And when somebody starts opening up a whole hell of a lot more, not just straight shots but hooks, that's gonna invite you in because you're thinking this motherfucker's in range for me to get mines off as well. So I'm seeing a lot more distancing of him. However, Javier Fortuna isn't going to give you the level of resistance that Tank is. And I don't think Javier Fortuna is as durable as Tank. I don't. But Ryan still has his chin high in the air. He can get caught in between shots as well, because, you know, he'll drop his hands and let a big shot go. And with Tank being a dude who works off the counter, he can capitalize on that. He can capitalize on that. He definitely could. And he doesn't have the best feet. He can get in and out of range quick, but, you know, educated feet, spinning and get, you know, pivoting and shifting. That's not his game. Tank does that better than Ryan. But what does Tank do? Tank gets clipped a whole hell of a lot. Let's not act like this dude ain't had his, you know, his face puffed up. Let's not act like Leo Santa Cruz wasn't hitting this man flush with combinations. Even Hector Luis Garcia. Ryan's biggest punches, his best punches, is his left hook upstairs and downstairs. And as I've stated before, that same advantage southpaws have against conventional fighters have those same advantages against southpaws. You just gotta be, you just have to be, you have to have the better lead foot positioning. You have to have the better jab. You have to have the better timing to counter hook or, counter jab over your opponent's lead jab hand. He has that at his disposal, or he can have that at his disposal. And it just so happens that those shots, because, you know, with the left hand, the left hook on a conventional fighter, the left hand is closer to the target than the backhand. That's the jab hand. Because of the dimension that you're at, it's easier for you to land the jab and the hooks. And the left hook is Ryan's best weapon on top of the straight. So the shots that the weapons that he has at his disposal that are his best punches, I'm not necessarily seeing uppercuts and jabs or nothing like that. It's his hook and his straight. It's the 2-3 that he has at his disposal that I'm seeing like, yo, those can work. Those could be problems for Tank because about how often he gets hit. People are acting like Tank is his defensive wizard, and he's not. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But he's not this defensively sound fighter that everybody is pertaining, that everybody is trying to acquiesce him to be. That's not his game. That's not who he is. And with him, giving away rounds, Ryan is going to get off to a fast start. I don't know how the fight is going to play out. I was listening to Cali X Boxing, shout out to him, and what he said was real. Informative, man. They're both gonna be economical fighters early on because they're gonna be trying to figure everybody out. I think Ryan is gonna pull the trigger a little bit earlier than Tank, though. He's gonna pull the trigger a little bit earlier. I think he'll fight at the same pace he fought Javier Fortuna at. He'll fight at that pace. He was really patient. He was really patient in that fight. And he worked well behind the jab. And then by the time the mid rounds come around, we're gonna start to see the shit get heated up. That, I think, was a spot on analysis. Oh fuck, I forgot some. I gotta go up the street and grab some goddamn tortillas. How did I forget that shit? Now, as far as fuck, I gotta turn around. Shit. As far as who I have winning the fight. As far as who I have winning the fight, I think it's kind of hard to pick against Tank in this fight. And the reason for that is the rehydration clause on top of the catch weight. I just feel like that's going to be a factor. I honestly do. I feel like that's going to be a factor. That's going to be a factor. And on top of Tank being a bit more of a complete fighter than Ryan with championship experience, that's going to play a factor as well. That's going to play a factor as well. I think Tank is going to be able to reach into, take him to a certain dimension that he's yet to have been to in a high leverage fight. Even though he was there with Luke Campbell, I think people are really dismissing how significant of a win the Luke Campbell win was. That was a good win. Honestly, it was a good win. Because Luke Campbell was a fighter who has been 24 championship rounds with the likes of Lomachenko and Jorge Linares. He's been in high leverage fights, but Luke Campbell wasn't a champion. He was never a champion. He was never a champion. Tank at least has caught a couple of straps at one division, but nonetheless, he's caught a few belts. He's caught a few belts. Yeah, they have a common opponent in Fonseca, but you know, I don't know. I don't know. I can't too much speak to that. But he's been in championship bouts. We have to take that into consideration. Ryan has yet to fight for a strap. So I just think that Tank has that edge right there in caliber of opponents. Even though you can make an argument that Luke Campbell is a better and more complete fighter than a Jose Pedraza. You can make that fight. You can make that argument, but I'm always gonna give the edge to the champion and how you went in there and he stopped Jose Pedraza. And you got to look at who Jose Pedraza has been in there with. He's been in there with some bangers. Had a draw with Richard Comey, and a lot of people think that Jose Ramirez got a give decision when they fought. Or if didn't get a give decision, he made a legitimate former unified super lightweight world champion look vulnerable. So you have to take that into consideration. And due to the fact that Tank stopped him, I think that right there, I can't ignore that. I'd have to give the edge to Tank on top of the rehydration clause and the catch weight. So I'm gonna go with Tank in this fight, but I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, because I need him and his fan base to shut the fuck up. And it would just give me so much joy for this nigga to go in there and get crashed by Ryan Garcia, so I can get right on Facebook and laugh at every last one of you motherfuckers who picked him in a fantasy fight and thought the fantasy fight was all he needed for validation instead of getting in the ring. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Deuces.